Hello, my true crime lovelies. How are you? Oh my goodness. How did you wake up today? How do you feel? That what justice feels like? Oh my goodness. So excited for us, for the world, that Sarah Boone has been sentenced to her new forever home, and she can help all of the people in prison who need help and teach them about Christ. And she's happy there. She forgives George, so all is right with the world. Now, also, her ex husband can move on with his life along with his son. And I just wanted to help give him a clean start. It's my Christmas gift. Just kidding. But I do want to just acknowledge that I've met a lot of new people these last couple of weeks since the trial. And I know there's a lot of rumors going out of there. So I thought I'd do a little myth busting on behalf of Brian Boone. So, one of the myths, or I don't even know if it's a myth, a rumor, a question, a thought, what was up with the picture of Brian putting their son in a suitcase? So, I'm going to just show you the picture and I'm going to read because it oddly or interestingly became a part of the murder trial. And so, yeah, let me make this bigger. Can I do that so you guys can see that? Okay. And then let me check. Yep, you can see it. I'm going to read what I have from the case file. So this is written by, what's this woman's name? Corporal Jillian Beery, or Barry, Beary, on February 26th, 2020, at approximately 16:15 hours, so 4:15, I, Corporal Jillian Barry, made contact with Brian Boone at 4311 Mandy Court in reference to a suspicious picture of him and his son. The pictures show the son inside a large suitcase, partially zipped up with a large smile on his face, both Brian and the son. In a sworn audio recorded interview, Brian stated the picture was taken years prior and was before they were going on vacation. Brian Boone said his son was never unable to breathe and did not complain of any injury from climbing into the suitcase. The family joked about how big the suitcase was, so the son got inside to be funny and then zipped it up for him, but he was not locked inside. Brian Boone was unsure of who took the photograph, but believes it was Sarah Boone, as he and the son are both in the picture and no one else was there. I also asked Brian Boone if there had ever been any allegations of abuse to the son, which he denied. Brian Boone stated he does not corporally punish Lucas either and has never noticed any injuries on Lucas beyond those of a normally active 9-year-old. He stated earlier today, son told him that sometime in the past, his mother hit him on the butt with a fly swatter, but he did not sustain any injuries from this and was laughing at the time of the incident. Brian Boone allowed me to speak to son in another room without him present in a sworn audio recorded statement. I asked son about the picture. He stated he did not remember the picture, which he would have been 4 or 5 at the time. Uh, Son also stated he hasn't been hurt by anyone and he would tell a police officer or adult if he were. Based on my investigation, it appears the photograph was taken for fun at the request of a child preparing for a family vacation. There were no injuries, and child was not locked inside the suitcase for any extended period of time beyond that of taking a photograph. So that is what we have there. So yeah, harmless enough, but obviously not looking good. I blurred his little face out. This was from Sarah's Facebook page, and I feel like I got this off of Reddit. Yeah, because I feel like her Facebook page was wiped by the time I started looking at it. Anyway, so and someone says, "Where are you going?" And there's somewhere in North Carolina. I know there are Boones in North Carolina, and I think, yeah, because in the family letters it said the family had just bought a new house there too. So I'm assuming they bought a house there because they had family there, but who knows? Okay, so that's number one. Number two is that Sarah caused Brian and their son to lose the house that it was foreclosed on. So that is not correct. it's hard to tell because if, we're looking at the website, like the county website, it's not going to say that it was sold necessarily, meaning I'm looking at the clerk of court website. So we can see the foreclosure stuff on the clerk of courts, but you can't see like it's obviously not titles and whatnot on that, right? So I had to do a little more digging to figure out if he actually sold it. Because it was almost foreclosed upon twice, but we remember from the family letters, it was he was unemployed, so there was a little bit of strain there, and she's still demanding $1,000. Anyway, I covered this before the whole but I covered it. You could see the title here, did he really buy out Sarah? And so as part of like digging that up, this is how I know that he sold the house.
The bid got the house and it went through. Okay, so we have that there. Then I had to be really nosy and I went to this website, Neighbor Who. Okay, so possible owners Ian Schwab and his wife Victoria Sullivan. And then let's go through this timeline. I want to see more of this. So it says unknown, but earlier when I was on here, it was 2007. These are all the prior owners. I'm tired, guys. Sorry. It's like almost 2 o'clock in the morning. And I meant to look this up because this is a relative of Sarah's, and it says they were seen there 2007 to 2010. I'm not sure why,
And I now know that is Sarah's youngest brother.
but let's look up view person report and see if this gives us the purchase date. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So they did actually purchase it in 2006. It's still before the bubble because let's look at the loans recorded on it. So in 2003, there was a new loan recorded by Anita M. Clancy. Her loan was for $93,000, 93 and a half. So we'll just round it up to $100,000, right? In 2003. And then Anita M. Salmons, which perhaps she got married. It, what are the chances of it being like two Anitas that are not the same person?
I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. Let's just see.
Clear. So then in September of 2006, the ownership changed to Brian and Sarah.
So they purchased it from Anita Clancy. They take out a mortgage on it. It looks in 2007, FBC Mortgage LLC to Brian and Sarah Boone. So maybe it's a second, I'm not sure. And then we have Citibank to Sarah and Brian in 14. Here's just really quick where they did the quit claim deed that she was complaining about in the family law. So it went from Brian C. and Sarah K. Boone to Brian Boone, and she at that point had signed a quit claim. My name is still in the mortgage. See prior summons I was served, and another undeniable concern of mine I am trying to address. She overuses undeniable. It's not a pressing concern though, ma'am. Your focus should be on your trial, right? Because no one is coming after you for a mortgage while you're in jail. You don't even have a job. Even if they did, you could fix it anyway. Does FH have to have my signature to sell since my name is still on all the paperwork, or does he actually have to remove, as I've been asking about for years and was also written in our dissolution of marriage? So just for you guys, if you haven't seen my other video, there was some clerical error. She technically was removed, but you know how like there's like copies of copies of copies. Somebody went back to the original in the file when they opened it up and they didn't go through and see the quit claim. I was an auditor once upon a time. I was a compliance auditor, so I looked at a lot of mortgage paperwork. Okay, anyway, when they were sending out the foreclosure letters, I just think they didn't go through the file. They just looked at the front page, basically, like the application. And then let's just get to where he sold it. So Brian both. Okay, So here in 2023 of July is where he sells it, right? And that is when all of the stuff is going on in the family court. If you haven't seen that video, it's part 3 of family letters. And so it's got a picture of Brian and a moving truck and Sarah on the thumb now. But yeah, so this is where he sells it. It's 2023. It's July. That's when Sarah starts like losing her mind with her own criminal case and this, and she's still fighting over the alimony. She's demanding that they not leave. It's all over there. So he does actually sell it, though, is my point. So he did not lose his house to foreclosure. Excuse me. He did sell it. And then the last thing I have for you, let me show you this. So this is dated February 27th of 2020. And I know I went a long way back. And if you want to know why, because this is when, so remember, Sarah was arrested February 25th, 2 days before this, at around 5-6 o'clock in the evening. So 48 hours later, Mauricio Padilla puts in his notice of appearance and enters a plea of not guilty, requests a jury trial, and notice of discovery. Undersigned counsel Mauricio Padilla hereby files his notice of appearance on behalf of the defendant. Why am I putting this? Because there is the rumor that Brian spent like $61,000 on her first lawyer. He didn't. He didn't. Technically, it's her second lawyer because they had immediately assigned her public defender, but that person never weighed in and then became her third lawyer after Padilla withdrew. And that I have a video, I'll put it in the iCards. Yeah, so anyway, this, and I will show you this because let me go to this one, share this tab instead, make sure I'm sharing it. Because just like with Owens, she was able to still remain indigent and charge the JAC for all due process costs. So Padilla entered an affidavit stating that, right? Before me, the undersigned notary, on this 22nd day of April, 2020, personally appeared Mauricio Padilla, known to me to be a credible person, blah, blah, blah. His oath deposes and says, I shouldn't say blah, blah, blah. That's the important part. He was who being by me first duly sworn on his oath deposes and says. So he's under oath. My name is Mauricio Padilla. I am over the age of 18 and reside in Miami-Dade County. I am the attorney of record in state of Florida versus Sarah Boone, Orange County, case number blah, blah, blah. Mr. Padilla is representing Miss Boone pro bono. Sarah Boone has been declared indigent by the Orange County Clerk of Courts. To date, no additional payments have been made. So previously, I'm not going to do it again because like I said, I already have it in another video. I put it in the iCards. I was thinking like additional, maybe that means that Brian actually paid the first one or paid something or a retainer. But no, because then she would not have been able. There's another document, like I said, it's in the other video. But so those are the myth busting. So those are what we busted. So hopefully that help clears up Brian's, the myths, the mystery, the man surrounding Brian and that wonderful head of hair of his. Yeah, so he did not lose his house to foreclosure, and he did not pay any money for Sarah's legal fees in relation to her murder trial. All right, let me know. Are you surprised? Did you know? Do you believe me? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Any other myths we should bust about anybody else in the case? Holla! All right, I will talk to you guys later. Toodles!